Kia ora and welcome along to Tuesday's forecast from us here at MetService. You can see on the satellite picture we've got this area of cloud around those northern parts of the Southland and skirting this eastern coast of the Northland, and we are going to find still a bit of rainfall there as we go through this afternoon. Also worth saying, we've got a southwesterly feed of air over the next few days, so we've got some cooler temperatures to come, also some showers and some stronger winds, especially around this southeastern corner of the country. For the afternoon today, we've still got a few showers up through Northland and Auckland. This you can see as well, this next lot of wet weather still pushing on towards that eastern coast. That will gradually pull away. Those showers should start to die out as well. But you can see the next system isn't a million miles away, feeding on towards that far south and western part of the country as we head through towards the afternoon. Some heavier falls of rainfall, perhaps even some thunderstorms in the mix as well. It's something to watch out for as we go through the afternoon there. And just keep an eye on those winds around that far southern part of the country as well. We'll start seeing them picking up as we head through towards the early hours of Wednesday. So overnight, this front continues to move northwards. It pushes those showers up that western coast of the Southland. Some heavy ones, perhaps some thunderstorms as we go through towards the early hours of Wednesday morning for parts of Westland and up towards the Nelson Bullet area. And you can see as we start the morning for tomorrow, that front isn't a million miles away. More cloud ahead of it, out towards those western sides of the North Island. Generally drier and clearer out towards the east on both islands. But you can see down south, we've got more showers feeding up from the far south and west. Those winds picking up as well. The bigger those arrows, the orange and the red ones, the stronger the wind. So we are going to find those winds that are ramping up as we head through in towards tomorrow for Wednesday, especially those early hours of the morning, making it feel cooler. And we're also going to find with that cold air, perhaps a return of some wintry showers down across the south as well, perhaps down to as low as about 200 metres or so for, say, the Catlin area down in the far southern part of Southland. But it is, I think, going to be a chilly old start today across those southern parts, especially where you get those clearer skies through parts of, say, Canterbury. Temperatures back down towards freezing, 1 degree Celsius there for the likes of, say, Christchurch. For the North Island, not as cold. We are still looking at temperatures of about 5 or 6 as we head through towards the early hours of the morning. More cloud across that western side of the island. As we go through in towards Wednesday, we continue to see this front moving northwards, some heavy showers on that across those western parts. They start to move away as we head through towards the afternoon. Might find a few just clipping in towards the east here. It's a bit of a southerly change, runs up through Wellington through the afternoon and on towards that eastern coast. But generally the weather gets better as we head through the afternoon. Down south, we have got those stronger winds still wrapping around that southeastern corner. More showers being dragged up by those southerly winds in towards parts of Fiordland and Westland, and generally rather a blustery end to the day down the far south there. More showers to come, and that cold air and that wind will make it feel a fair bit colder as well. Temperatures around about 8 or 9 degrees Celsius, but I think it will feel colder. It is worth saying we have got a severe weather watch out for those winds down the far south through Stewart Island, that coastal part of Southland, around the corner to Clutha and up towards those southern parts of Otago as well, south of, say, about the Otago Peninsula. But it is, I think, going to be a windy story. Those winds perhaps reaching severe gale in the most exposed areas, so well worth keeping up to date with the forecast. But those winds as well, making it feel colder, driving in a fair number of showers. And like I say, that cold air could mean we'll get some wintry showers as well, not just for, like I say, the Catlins, but we could also find some wintry showers across some of those higher passes as well, mainly above about 600 or 700 metres. But I think for places like the Milford Road, State Highway 94 there, we could find snow down to around about 300 metres or so. But in terms of totals, a couple of centimetres, 2 to 4 or so, up about the higher parts of the Milford Road. Elsewhere, we've got some watches out for some road snowfall warnings even for the likes of, say, the Crown Range Road, also up towards the Linders Pass, and for later in the day for the Porters Pass and up towards the Lewis Pass as well. Again, mainly about those higher parts of the roads, but well worth keeping up to date with the forecast if you plan to do those higher crossings as we go through Wednesday, especially those ones down south overnight tonight, Tuesday in towards Wednesday morning. Now for the North Island, we are going to keep hold of those southwesties. We've got that wet weather feeding up with that next feature as that runs on towards particularly those western parts of the country as we go through the morning time. So we are going to find some heavier showers across the western side of the North Island through the morning time. For the Bay of Plenty, perhaps reaching them as we head through the afternoon, but they should clear away. You can see we've got some clearer skies for the afternoon itself. Down south, a bit of a southerly flick runs through towards Wellington in the afternoon, brings a few showers there, but then clears up. But we'll keep hold of always more cloud across those southern and western facing coasts, whereas out towards the northern and eastern facing sides, we'll generally keep some clearer skies, a bit of protection from the hills there. So a better day in the Bay of Plenty, although even here we could catch an isolated shower or two. In terms of our temperatures, the best place to be if you're looking for warmest spots out on the eastern coast, 18 degrees Celsius there for Hawke's Bay. But you can see overnight temperatures are back down to 3 degrees Celsius there compared to, say, 10 or so up towards Auckland. Heading across towards the South Island, you can see we've got the fair number of those showers around that western coast. One or two heavy ones, perhaps there's even the odd rumble of thunder through the morning time. Down south, we get that feed of wintry showers in towards parts of Southland and Otago, but I think it will make it feel fairly cold with those strengthening winds as well around that southeastern corner. So a really breezy, blustery looking day through there with those showers being driven on. You'll find though any cloud about the central parts of Canterbury starts to clear away. We should be left with some clearer skies, perhaps a few showers in the morning time, particularly up about the foothills, and they'll be clearing away as we head through towards the afternoon from likes of say Marlborough, but generally most of Marlborough, especially north of say Ward, should be left with some pretty decent weather through daytime. So up towards the Sounds, for example, and across towards Nelson, most of the day looking pretty decent and nice, fine, dry conditions through there. In terms of our temperatures, not brilliantly warm, unsurprising, but it's also worth having the caveat that it's 9 degrees Celsius in places like Dunedin, and that 8 degree in Invercargill will feel colder if you're out in the wind. That's a fairly significant wind chill factor to be aware of as we head through the daytime there. As we head through towards Thursday, we're going to find ourselves still stuck in that southwesterly, so more showers down that western coast and also down in the far south as well. And you can see for the North Island, similar story, the further south and west you are, the better chance of catching those showers. Generally drier and brighter across those northern and eastern parts, but with that southwesterly being quite blustery at times, especially in those exposed areas. As we go through towards Friday, just about to see a high pressure come over, so hopefully plenty of dry weather for many of us, but I think we'll keep hold of that southwest. It's not brilliantly warm, but looking pretty good as we head through towards that Matariki long weekend. That's it from me. This is from MetService.com.